let's go ahead and watch Numidia's video. 5 things to do before classic TBC releases. Numidia!
So you know how every time a new expansion is about to release, there starts to be guides surfacing about things that people need to do before the expansion releases. Either because those things have a straight up expiry date on them where you won't be able to get them after the expansion releases, or because you still can but it will be way harder. I figured I'd do the same for the release of Classic TBC. Although, to be completely honest with you, there's very few things that you will actually be unable to obtain once TBC releases. But on the other hand, there are many things from vanilla that will become considerably more difficult to get come TBC. So in this video, we're gonna go over 5 things you definitely should do before Classic TBC releases.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
What we gotta
Number
do?
1, PvP titles. This one is the only thing that actually...
I got Lieutenant Commander. That's rank 10. This is probably the ugliest title of all of them. I actually, for about 30 seconds the other day, I was like, now that ranking is easy and I'm on Peggle and no one's fucking ranking, should I get rank 14? Just to say I did it, just to get the title. Should I do that? And I was like, I thought about it for, it was like, yeah, a couple seconds. Fuck that shit. Nope.
actually has an expiry date on it.
Nope.
If you want this, you need to do it before TBC releases, otherwise you will not be able to obtain them. So, I think we all know how PvP ranks and titles work in class.
Pussy, when would I use my Grand Marshal title? I'm gonna be using my Scarab Lord title. Dude, miss me with the... Listen, dude, Grand Marshal and High Warlord, those are like fucking welfare titles these days, dude. Like, all the brackets were botted. You had people boosting brackets around the clock. You had like 10,000 bracket spots. You got like... Dude, there was the Reddit thread about like, hey guys, sup Reddit? My 97-year-old great-grandpa just got rank 14. Can I get some karma? Like... Come on, man! Like it's not exactly the it's not exactly the prestigious thing that it was back. But though I know I'm shitting on it, a 97-year-old grandpa getting rank 14 or whatever the fuck, that's actually badass. Like that's fucking badass. I wish that was me.
Classic currently, but for those who don't know, here's a really short version of it. The more PvP you do, the more you're going to rank up. And your rank is represented by a temporary title that you get. The longer you spend not engaging into PvP
Even
activities, the more your rank will decrease over time, and thus your title with it. Now here's the thing that happens once TBC releases. The honor system is completely turned on its head. There's no more ranking, you still get honor by killing the opposite faction, but that honor is now a currency that you can spend for high level gear.
True.
You even get to buy the...
You look
Jay
like
and
you're
Daco.
an uncle that only shows up to the family reunion, drinks all the beer, then leaves.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, the more hilarious situation, though this is not me, it's the uncle, like, these are the, okay, this is not me, but it's the uncle who shows up to the family reunion, drinks all the beer, gets shit-faced, flirts with his own niece, realizes it's his niece, and then leaves. That's hilarious.
The old rank 14 gear for a handful of honor if you want to, which is going to be a great way to gear up alts during the pre-patch, by the way. I will make a video guide for the pre-patch once the time comes to let you know what you should and should not do during that couple weeks period. So make sure to subscribe to not miss that and a bunch of other useful
Ring the
content
bell,
coming
boys.
in the future. So, along with the new honor system introduction, you also get to keep whichever highest rank title you reached in your character's lifetime.
it.
Even if you reached Grand Marshal at some point, you will get to select Grand Marshal as a title and keep it permanently. If you reached rank 11, for example, you will get the title Commander, which is, in my opinion at least, the coolest title.
Yeah, dude, Commander is actually the coolest one. I kind of wish, like, I kind of wish I went to rank 11, but man, like, I hated fucking ranking. Ranking sucks dick and balls. But Commander is a really cool title. Fuck. What if we went to rank 11? Nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
of them all.
Nope.
The bad news about this, however, is that you can only get one title, the highest one you reached.
Yeah.
If you reached rank 14, for example, and you want to use Commander, unfortunately, there's no option for that. So that does kind of suck in that regard. But regardless, the point is, there's going to be a lot of PvP veterans flexing on players around the world with their amazing unobtainable titles. As for you,
Man, these rank 14 Andes are gonna step foot in the arena and get toasted. I'm telling you, dude, like, what percent of rank 14s are breaking 1600? What percent of rank
21 plus 1.
14s
Wow.
are breaking 1600? Like 1%, 2%? And Dewey, hey, good morning, dude. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, dude.
For you, here's a list on screen showing the titles for both factions.
Plus
Choose
one,
one
plus
that
one,
looks
plus one.
cool and start PvPing every week to rank up. But keep in mind that the lower you go down this list, the harder it's gonna get to reach the title you want. But it should be considerably easier to reach higher ranks now, since there's no point doing this basically now with the Naxxramas gear being equal / better than the best gear ranking
you're
can
just farming the
offer.
title
So
at that
it should
point.
be way less competitive in the ladders. Number 2. Paladin and Warlock epic mounts. Now we're getting to the things that are still technically obtainable, but the reason you should do them now is either because they're locked behind raids, which were designed for 40 level 60 players, so you're going to need a pretty big group, and you'll need to be tuned for the raids,
You just had to
which
do
I'll talk
dungeons.
about later. Or another reason is because they are going to get considerably more expensive with the inflation in TBC, and the fact that the supply for many vanilla items is going down. So this one is still technically obtainable in TBC. However, I highly doubt you'll be able to solo the dungeons linked with those Paladin and Warlock quest chains, especially during the first phases of TBC with just tier 4 gear. And those quest chains also require vanilla items, which are probably gonna go up in price. When TBC releases, the Felsteed for Warlocks and the Warhorse for Paladins, which are the two unique level 40-60% mounts, are gonna be trainable from the class trainers. However, the Dreadsteed and
Wait, aren't they already? Wait, I'm trying to remember, man. Like, I just level so fast, I just zoom through that, I just forget. I think you already do train them at level 40. I think in early vanilla, I'm trying to remember back to when I was a kid. In early vanilla, there was a quest. You had to go and, like, talk to this guy in this place. You had to go and talk to the Warlock trainer in the Barrens. Yeah. But now in late vanilla, which is the patch we run off, you just train it from the guy, right? Yeah. Fun fact, never mind, I'll tell you later. Never mind, I'll show you later.
the
No fun
Charger,
facts.
which are the 100% speed mounts, are still going to be locked behind the quest lines. Later on in Rats, they were also added to the trainers directly, but if you want to obtain them in TBC, you will have to do the quest lines. If you plan on playing a Warlock or a Paladin in TBC, and you don't have these mounts yet, and you want them in the future, I
don't
highly
have it on my
suggest you
Paladin,
get them
actually,
now.
but I don't
Once
really
TBC
care.
releases, it's going to be way harder to find a group for Dire Maul or Skullomance. And on top of that, the materials required for the quests are probably gonna go up in price. I will include a Wowhead guide for both these mounts if you're interested in getting them. Number 3. Profession specializations. I'm gonna use blacksmithing as an example here, but this applies to many other professions that have specs inside of them. So, one of the best weapons for arms warriors and red paladins for quite a while in TBC is
Increases your chance to resist fear effects by 8%. And paladins already have, like, there's a talent in their tree which reduces fear effect. God damn, this is such bullshit. This is some goddamn bullshit, dude.
Lionheart Executioner, which requires Lionheart Champion to create, which itself requires Lionheart Blade to make. But the thing is with all those weapons is that they all require Master Swordsmithing, not only to create, but also to wear. If you want to be a viable Red Paladin or an Arms Warrior in TBC, you have no choice but to get blacksmithing and become a weaponsmith and then a swordsmith to equip those weapons. Here's the thing though, to become a swordsmith, which is the last step, you only need to go to Winterspring and talk to a guy there and you'll automatically become a swordsmith, as long as you are a weaponsmith. But to become a weaponsmith in the first place, you need to complete a quest in Ironforge that requires you to create a bunch of items which require many many mid to low level reagents to create.
That's some
And you guessed
bullshit.
it, those items are gonna be on high demand but very low supply since no one is gonna be doing vanilla content anymore. Add on top of that the inevitable inflation that's gonna happen in TBC, and you understand why getting this quest done now is a priority if you plan on having the Lionheart weapons. So, simple.
Guys, last night on this TBC arena server, I dueled Tipo, and he was a warrior in full tier 3 gear. Or sorry, in full season 3 gear, and I was a warlock in full season 3 gear. Who do you think won? Who won? Tipo the warrior? Or Staysafe the warlock? I didn't drop below 80%. I didn't drop below 80%, dude. Oh, man, dude. I'm stunting on warriors. I was out there stunting. I be stunting.
Go do this quest now and become a weaponsmith before TBC releases. But here's the thing. To become a swordsmith, which is the last step of this process, you just need to click a dialogue option on an NPC in Winterspring. At least that's how it is on my own locally ran private server. I actually couldn't find any evidence online for this, but basically how it is right now in vanilla is that you need to do a quest that asks you to go to Stratholme to kill a boss to become a swordsmith. I couldn't find anywhere online that this requirement was removed in TBC. If this is a private server mistake, then this whole process is going to be hard.
No, these quests are all exactly the same. In fact, they're exactly the same in Wrath of the Lich King as well, though you don't have to do them. In Wrath, I believe you can train the epic mounts at a trainer, but the quests are still in the game. You can do them still, I think.
Harder, since you'll need to do Stratholme for it, which is probably not going to be soloable.
it's the same.
As I said before, I took blacksmithing as an example for this, but there are many specializations for many different professions, and they're all relevant to a certain class or spec. So if you have a profession now and you want to keep it for TBC, just make sure to do your research and spec into what will be relevant to you. And
isn't Storm Herald or whatever the mace is called better than Lionheart stuff? By the way, love you, Daddy. Come. Yeah, I feel like the mace is probably better because it has a stun effect, right? But still, you know, even though it's worse, 8% fear res is pretty. It's as a warlock, like that tilts me.
And do that now while the mats are still cheap and easily obtainable. Number 4. Powerful items still relevant in TBC. If you've been paying attention, you probably know about these things. Things like Thunder Fury for tanks, Neltharion's Tear or Mind Quickening Gem for mages, Mark of the Champion, Skullflame Shield for prot paladins, that Glove's Threat enchant recipe from Twin M's, the Black Book for warlocks. All those items have the potential to have some powerful interactions in some niche situations.
Nothing is down here. Don't worry about it.
And this list is definitely way bigger than that. You could include the mounts from ZG, for example, the Corrupted Ashbringer from Nax, which is a sick-looking item that's going to become unobtainable in Wrath, or Atiesh, which is a free teleport to Karazhan. Those items are definitely worth having if you're interested in them even remotely. But the point here is not to give you a list of items that you should get, because other content...
So my plan... Hold up, rewind. The plan on my Warlock, I already have the Rizashi Raptor. I'm going to double back, and I don't know if I can solo this. Probably not. Find some friends and come back and try to get the Tiger, you know, every 3 days, and try to get the Tiger for myself also. And then do next Rammus Pugs all through TBC and get at Tiesh. So the plan is at some point during TBC, have all 3 of this. Already 1/3 is complete.
Them even remotely. But the point here is not to give you a list of items that you should get, because other content creators already did those type of videos. The point is to tell you why getting them in TBC is going to be significantly harder than it is currently. Simply put, vanilla raids tuned for 40 players. Nowadays, in retail, when a new expansion drops, you can grab a couple friends with you and easily go and do normal mode raids from the previous expansion, because they are designed for...
Dude, you know what would be so sick? BlizzCon line, 3 weeks from now, they say, announcing Classic TBC, which will be followed a year and a half from now by Classic Wrath of the Lich King. We are committing to both of them. That would be so sick.
Classic
I'll tell you why.
TBC PogChamp.
It would be sick because it would give people more motivation to do sort of completionist gameplay. If they announced Wrath, you know, at the same time as TBC, and they won't. They won't. Of course they won't. I would, in TBC, do complete... I would start farming reps. I would start farming mounts. I would try to do lore master. I would complete all the quests. I would do high copium. Yeah, I'm a classic copium, Andy. Yeah, I'm addicted to it, dude. They won't. It would be cool, though. I'll tell you, though, you know, flash forward a year and a half from now, if and when they're doing classic Wrath, my plan is to farm, like, I'm gonna get, like, all the things add-on. I'm gonna farm everything. I will do all the mounts. You have a mount tab. I'll farm all the reps. I will become the Asmongold of classic Wrath. I will do all of it, dude. That's the plan.
10 players minimum. But in vanilla, raids were designed for 40 players. Nothing more, nothing less. And there's no scaling when you go from vanilla to TBC. So old world raids are still gonna require a significant amount of players to be able to do. Especially at first with only tier 4 content. And especially for later raids like Naxxramas. But finding players interested in doing this content isn't gonna be that hard, to be fair. I bet you could easily find a group of 15 to 20 players and make those old raids, or even assemble one yourself with your guildmates every week. The hard part is the next point I'm gonna talk about, which is number 5, attunements. Vanilla raid attunements are gonna be a pain in the butt to get done in TBC. Now, to be fair, if you're already playing Classic and you plan on keeping your current character going into TBC, that's not something you need to worry about. But if you have an alt that you're planning to play in TBC, I would get attuned for vanilla raids right.
This is a story that I have never told you guys. This was on an alt character of mine in TBC back in the day, and Wrath Lich King had been announced at this point, and I was leveling an alt. I was going all the way to 70, and I was like 12, but I was a little fucking scam artist. I wanted some Ani hide bags on this alt of mine as I'm leveling up. I'm like level 67, and I told this like casual mom and pop gamer guild I was in that when Wrath Lich King comes out, they're adding a title called Dragon Slayer to anyone that is attuned to Onyxia. And so I tricked like the moms and dads in this guild into helping me get Ani attuned, and they got Ani attuned with me. And then we went in and killed Onyxia, and then I took the Ani hide bags. I took the Ani of it, and I was like, yeah, they're gonna add this title when Wrath is out. Just trust me, you're all gonna be called Dragon Slayers. It's gonna be badass.
Right now. So, AQ40 has no attunement process basically. Molten Core is quite easy, although getting through BRD solo is gonna be slightly challenging even at level 70, but it's still very easy, especially if you're a class that can stealth. BWL is where it gets annoying. You need to kill a rare elite outside Blackwing Lair, and then do a full run of Ubers to complete the quest. Ubers is definitely not soloable at level 70, and getting a group together for it is gonna be a pain in the butt. But still, that's doable. Onyxia is gonna be a huge pain to get attuned to at level 70. No need to explain why. The questline is super long, and doing BRD jailbreak and Ubers solo is definitely not something you can do.
The note: to be fair, I don't think there's much incentive to do Onyxia at level 70, so you can skip this. He doesn't know. I want those Ani bags, man.
ZG, AQ20, and AQ40 have no attunements, but the one raid that's gonna be the most annoying to get attuned to is Naxxramas. Other than the fact that the quest items are gonna go higher in price come TBC, the big roadblock to get attuned for Nax at level 70 is the rep requirement. You need to be honored with Argent Dawn, which is gonna require quite a few runs of Strat Undead or Skullomance. So yeah, if you plan on doing vanilla raids in TBC and you're not attuned, I will probably start now if you ask me. And if you plan to play a Blood Elf or Draenei, I guess you won't have a choice but to do that later after TBC releases. As I assume if they release those races once the pre-patch drops, you're gonna be busy leveling and getting your character ready rather than getting attuned for all raids, I assume. So that was it. 5 things to do before Classic TBC drops. Before I go, I want to thank you all so much for watching. The support has been nothing short of amazing lately on the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure to drop a sub, as that would not only be appreciated, but you will also get to not miss future TBC content on this channel. With that said, whatever you do, remember to have fun, Take care of yourselves
And stay safe.
and your loved ones.
Frick.
Bye for now.
There it is, boys.